Yeah. Man, you know what? The more I hear Pharaoh talk about Thailand, though, I want to go. I was telling my son, he a trust fund. He's about to start getting into his trust fund. And I told him, I say, you might want to go to Thailand. I know this might sound out of left field, but you might want to try Thailand. Because what you got jumping over, you would be a gazillionaire over there. And what he's saying, like I say, my son is all my kids are trust fund babies. But this particular one is the last one to tap into his. And, you know, he turned in that age and he's like, Dad, you know what you think I should do? And I'm like, you might want to try Thailand. Real talk. You're 25 years old. Guy, you sitting on something nice. I try Thailand. Told him to follow Pharaoh. Look at it, you know, Google it, look at the culture. Because if you do Thailand, we all can come over there, motherfuckers. I will fucking come. Real shit. I can go. Ain't nothing really holding me back from doing a trip like that. But that would be nice. Yeah, that would. I know back when I was on tour, and we went overseas in the 90s. I know what they saying. It's beautiful over there. But like the old girl say, my only biggest thing at that time was immersing in a culture. And being able to pick up the language enough to know that I'm not being took advantage of. That was my only concern at that time. That, you know, if I'm trusting interpreters and shit like that, I didn't want to have to trust nobody. And I didn't know a lot of them, places like Europe. Like, we went on the continent of Europe. So it was cold. A lot of the food was nasty. You know, it's okay, but it ain't all that. I don't know why people be trying. Paris stunk bad in Paris. It was just a different cold place to me, in my summation. And where everybody go? They coming back?
That's what I'm wondering. No, reset it alive. They done got trapped.
Hey, we had them going last night though. Lady was going. You had lady on one. You had lady on
one. Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Grand Rising, Butter, man. Come on up here, man. What's the deal? How your birthday go, man? How your birthday go?
Hey, don't ever tell them cleaning the house is easy. Don't ever say that. I know that much. I know not to say that no more.
Right.
Hey, you tripping out. Yeah, what they doing? Washing up for 4 hours? And look, she broke that shit down like that was some real shit. First off, we gotta wash up. Okay, you not washing up for 4 hours, are you? And kept missing the point.
Yeah, I was done after that. Like, all right, whatever.
I said, I was gonna post that on my live. I was gonna post that one on my live because they kept missing the point that the kids ain't in there. They keep forgetting we said the kids ain't in the house. So how the hell you clean it up all damn day behind the kids if they at school? They couldn't get around that. They just kept going to the other shit. I'm like, unless you cheating with another family.
I made dinner for two different families.
And look, that'll make sense why you got to cook and clean all day. for the kids, and your kids go to school for 8 hours. Oh man, that was funny. They got heated. What do you mean housework is easy? It's easy. Yeah, you ain't never swept a floor before? That's easy. Sweeping floors don't take a rocket scientist. I mean, I know washing dishes might take some level of mathematics because you got to go around in a circular motion where you're washing your plates. You do have to
Wax
recognize
on,
that's
wax off.
right. That is some of my circles. Bowls look different than plates, so there may be a problem in the distinction there. I guess, but I don't see nothing wrong. I don't see what's so hard about it. Yeah, I woke up this morning and cleaned up within 2 hours.
Right. I'm gonna need me a couple hours to clean up.
I'm trying to figure out why is it taking so long that they're living in mansions.
What's the deal, Butter? Butter, man. How the birthday go, man?
Grand Rising.
All
I'm still
right.
celebrating. Today is my birthday.
Grand
So I
Rising,
celebrate
happy
all
birthday,
weekend.
Butter. Happy
Cute.
birthday. It's still your birthday because when you was born, this probably that day, everybody who didn't see you when you was born probably came over your mama's house and like, where the baby, bitch? Where the baby? Let me see the baby girl. Let me see her. Oh, she's so cute. Look at her. Oh my God. Yeah, this is the week all the other motherfuckers came through.
What you do?
Oh, I've just been hanging out with my family. Went out to dinner.
Oh, okay.
I
What
wasn't
you
going to go to
do?
the club, but I'm 53. I didn't make it.
It ain't the same no more. It ain't the same no more, man.
After dinner, I was like, I'm good.
Big 53.
Got homesick real quick.
Oh no, because when you get to the 50s, you hear your knees a little louder than you used to. You don't hear your knees at first. When you're in your 30s, you don't hear your knees talking to you. But when you get in your 50s, you hear your knees and hear your teeth real well.
Yeah, when you're in your 50s, it's a struggle. Either you go out to dinner or go to the club. You can't do both.
Right.
You
You don't have enough
picky,
energy.
Yeah, I already feel you
It
on
better be
that.
done by 9 o'clock because I
Butter
gotta
birthday.
watch some reruns and get my sleep.
Butter birthday. Let's see, do I got?
Happy birthday, homie. Happy birthday, homie.
Do they got a birthday cake for me? Let me see if they got
So, Butter, tell me what you think of that. Last night, these girls chewed me and Kev out because we said cleaning ain't hard. Cleaning the house ain't hard. They lost their minds.
Yes, it is. Oh, thank you.
Eat on
It
up.
says,
Eat
well,
on up.
I was a housewife before, and that was the hardest job I ever had in my life. I quit. I went back to work. I swear to God. Everything, because like you're home all day. I mean, like everything is expected on you. Like I don't even get a paycheck. I'm just saying for me, I need to go back to work. I put them kids in daycare and got a job.
So tell me something, then. When you were at home being a housewife, and the kids, were they in school?
No, they were toddlers.
Oh, see, now that's different. That's different. Because we told them, because my argument was, they was like, we cook and clean for the kids all day long. And I was like, but if the kids in daycare and in school for 8 hours a day, who you cooking and cleaning for all day long?
Good look.
But now my house not bad because ain't nobody here to mess it up. The kids are grown and gone, so when I clean, it stay clean.
Yeah, that's what I pretty much thought. That's what Kev pretty much was trying to break down. Once we clean this, There ain't nobody else there but you. It's pretty much a done deal.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out where the
They
all
kept
day
adding
cleaning
like, I
comes
gotta
from.
run to the store. I gotta ding. This numbers just jumped up like crazy. I gotta do this, and
Oh,
I said, I was like, how many times you gotta go to the store? It's not an everyday thing.
You know, right? She said she got to go to the post office. I was like, damn, who you cheating with? Somebody in prison? How many letters you got to write? How often is it we got to go to the post office for something? They were throwing in all this stuff, and I was just
Yeah,
listening.
like
I'm like, I'm just
everything.
trying to figure out where is the all cooking and cleaning all day when the kids are gone for 8 hours of that day. Who are you cooking and cleaning for all day? So I basically boiled it down to poor time management, which that's what I was trying to get to. I was like, because as a stay-at-home dad, I raised my sons, and from infants, toddler, all the way up. And I was telling them, I said, it seemed pretty simple to me. I wake up in the morning, get my head together before I wake them up so I don't be grouchy waking them up. Wake them up, get them ready for school, feed them some breakfast, drop them off at school, come home about 8:30. By 10, the house is clean. From 10 till it's time to get them, I ain't got shit to do. So
I
what
was a
you're saying,
housewife.
men are better raising kids than women?
It
Right,
depends
right.
on the
So you
person.
thank you. And they took it
Cause I
all out
see
of
some
proportion.
really
So you
good
said
fathers
men
out
are
there
better
that,
raising children
but
than women?
and I seen some good moms. So it just depends on the.
I was
I
just
seen
saying,
some
I'm
great
trying to figure
fathers.
out the cooking and cleaning all day part. Like, who you cooking and cleaning for all day if ain't
But
nobody at
but
home?
when I was a housewife, my kids were home. Like my active duty military. So we get up. I had to make sure his breakfast was ready, and I fed the kids. Bathe them, got them dressed, and then I had to do activity with them. Because I don't want to be dumb. So, we read books, the library, we just, then we came home, went to parks and stuff, then home, then I had to do lunch. My husband came for lunch every day because we lived on base. And I had cooked lunch every day. I got laid the kids down for a nap, cleaned up, and then by the time I cleaned up, it was cooked dinner. So I had to get dinner ready, and then after dinner, I did some activities with the kids. I had to get for bed and then clean the house and then go to bed. That was every day, every freak day. When
I
you're cooking
always
three
say
times a
that.
day, that's a lot.
Hmm. Oh yeah. But I told people like even at a regular job or just life itself, I think stuff like house and regular jobs. And all that, I think it's only as hard as you make it. It's only as hard as anybody make a job. You know what I'm saying? Because like you do as much as you can, you do it at your pace. You know that you can, because nobody can make you do any extra. And I do feel it with the time management thing. Like I think if you had it in like a certain order and the right timing and stuff, then things would be straight. It probably go even smoother and stuff. But it just depends, and everybody got different lifestyles and stuff. That's probably what makes it harder and stuff. But
Mhm.
I think the statement he making is just a generalized statement for like if it's like husband, wife, and all that stuff that's actually doing it like back in the old days and stuff where one stay at the house, one work and all that stuff, and they made it work. You know what I'm saying? They was uh managing with each other and making it, you know, they was making it work though.
One thing I didn't like, he gave me an allowance, like,
Mm.
because he made the money to pay the bill. So, give me what he thought I needed. And I didn't
Mm.
like that either.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So it's almost like, yeah, I
One
get it.
income.
I get it.
I'm not trying to take nothing away from him, but in reality, we have one income, so you know.
But I
So I
commend
wasn't
you for
happy.
being ride or die, though. I commend you because you exemplify what it is to be submissive, supporting of your husband. While most women living in the fantasy world and still getting oops upside their head, right here. right here. You seem to grasp the reality of what it was to support your partner. Because you could tell somebody what it's like. You could tell somebody what it's like to be a housewife and the workings of it and how to manage a home. You got most women out here don't know how to manage a home. And that was proof last night. Because I don't know how long it take them to wash dishes. I thought the dishwasher do that for the most part. We got
That's what I said,
dishwashers.
especially where they throw them dishes in the dishwasher.
Yeah, I know. I know. I bought my wife every amenity she can dream of to make it easy for whatever it is she want to do to make being at home easy. You want everything. Sheesh, I tell people, you gotta have a budget for a new stove because your wife want her stove working all the time. Don't let the washer or dryer go out. That's a 911. Yeah, because she don't want to go to the laundromat, taking her personals there after she can go downstairs and do it. That could almost be a deal breaker. But I got to keep a budget for broke shit break. Because once your wife get used to certain things, you can't deprive her of them. And that's one of them. Women love the convenience of being able to just wash one pair of drawers if they want to.
Good morning to that note.
Good morning. Hey, good morning.
Good morning, kings and queens. Happy birthday, Butter. How you doing, Kev? Mr. 6'4", how's it going?
What's good, brother?
Good morning, you.
I've been listening to you guys for a little while now as an op, because I do my meditation. And I want to hear what foolery we have to deal with Sunday morning. But I guess it's a carryover from last night, right? I will share something with you guys if you guys would allow me. You're right. There is plenty of time during the day to get all your stuff done, especially in advance, and have a lot of free time. But it's hard to say those things unless you've actually taken care of a person. We're not talking about kids because kids has a certain level of energy that you need to deal with them. But when you're taking care of adults too, it does something to you that people I don't think are recognizing, especially when they're your age or close, where you feel in the back of your head, this is something that you guys should be already doing yourself, and you end up having to do it for them. It kind of drains you in a different way. So I would advise for those that think that it is easy to take care of a home and a house and kids and an adult to try it. You understand? I became a single dad for a young lady. If you don't think that you understood woman back then, try raising a daughter by yourself so you can see the different levels and the different stages of how a woman develops and how you have to change your point of view in order to accommodate them and be supportive to them. It's not the same game. So I give it to
That's
one.
why I got a hairline. That's why I got a hairline now, because I raised my daughter. Yup, she's the reason. She's the reason
But I think
why
it's
my
different.
hairline look like I always wearing a headband, because my daughter.
But for me, it's different though. What he talking about? He's saying a whole family. You know what I'm saying? A family that's together where they actually was playing roles or something like that. Where if the mother, or say if you know what I'm saying. Say if you was the one to stay at the house and the mother was working something like that. I think it would be more easier doing it that way if it's two in the house. You know what I'm saying? But I can
Oh,
understand one person
I
can't do
went through
everything.
that. I went
Yeah.
through that, so I understand both angles of it. I get
Okay.
it. But the thing that I'm saying is that, look, if you're taking care of people, right, in your house, especially if you're not taking care of yourself, it is draining. You understand what I'm
Hey,
saying?
real
Like, I'm
quick.
talking about mental game here. Like, hey, I make sure everybody's straight, but I'm not taking care of myself. Do you know how draining that is? Do you know how long it takes you to actually suck
There you
it
go.
up and say, I gotta take care of my family first?
Hey, everybody. Real
Can I
quick.
add
Hey,
something to that?
Hey, let me
Absolutely.
say something
unalive.
real. Let me say something real quick. Hey, Kel, by the way, how you doing, brother?
What's the deal, man? You all right?
Yeah, just want to say this real quick. Happy birthday, butter.
Yes, happy
Thank
birthday.
you.
I'm just came in to say happy birthday to Butter. Y'all show y'all some love, Kev. Happy
Much
birthday.
respect
Even
for
though
that.
I'm mad at you, killer, and I'll tell you later.
You
What's
ain't
up,
mad at me,
Killer?
woman.
Good.
I'm nephew killer. You love me, woman.
Bring that belt out. The belt is about to come
I
out.
love you, but I'm still upset with you.
I was sleepy last night. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
3 o'clock live. I was asleep.
Nope, no excuses. Bring the belt up.
Yeah, I
All
was
right.
half asleep until I seen Kevin. I said, "Oh,
Man.
But I was
All
gonna
right.
add to that. You're being a housewife, or it is so easy to get lazy because you can easily become a procrastinator because you got all to do it. See what I'm saying? Like, I could do that
Yeah.
later, or I could do, and before you know it, none of your is done. The only thing that helped
Mm.
me, housewife, is I was prior military. I had structure, so I knew how to, plan and lay everything out. So it's not an easy task to be a housewife, house person. You have to, be focused and be structured, or you
So it
get
was just
lost.
like what we.
Like,
So it was just like what we said, Kev. My time management, being able
Mm-hmm.
to know what
mm-hmm,
to do with yourself. And
it
I mean,
is.
it's this, you can't say that. And I said, no, no, no. The time is time.
yes,
Now, if you don't know how to
You heard what
manage
I
your
said. I had a
time,
routine. When I
yeah,
was telling you a story
yes,
about my
yeah." But
kids,
even with her
routine.
routine, even with her routine, she says that she wasn't with it. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't enough for her. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't enough
Mm.
for her soul. It wasn't enough for her accomplishments. You know what I'm saying? So
So
for
right.
this,
that's where that ties into where your job is as hard as you make. So if you saying, because you will have to be interested, right? To it's like, okay, it's just like say working out, right? When you doing it, you can say it's hard all you can, you know what I'm saying? Until you start enjoying it, that's when you start that's when it becomes easy, you know what I'm saying? It becomes fun, it becomes easy and all that stuff. Like a job, it's like regular jobs. If you're not really interested in it, and then it becomes hard because you don't like it, you know what I'm saying? Or you something like that. That's what that is.
that's a big reason, but it's more like this, Kevin. This is the problem in this world. If you don't have an idea of what something is about, it makes it that much harder. If you grow up in a household where they don't
Mm,
teach you certain things and you have to learn on your own, it makes it that much harder because you don't have the right sources to refer to. You don't have the right support system in place. This woman came on and said that she is military. She had time management, right? She had all those things, but it wasn't fulfilling her personally. And I resonate with that. You understand what I'm saying? So that goes to show you that you're right, Kevin. If you're not into something, it's gonna make it that much harder. If you're not feeling something, it's gonna make it that much harder. But usually that means that we're not into it.
Yeah.
Well, I gave a career to be a housewife. Until I got married, my husband asked me, "Hey, I would like for you to stay home and raise the kid." So I didn't and I just stay home. But I had a taste of that world before I became a housewife. So it it wasn't that I love being home with my kids, but like you said, it wasn't what I wanted. Because I thought that's what I was supposed to do.
And that's the problem. The problem is that, look, everything in life, regardless
And
of
thank you
what
for
it
the gift.
is difficult. It has its challenges, right? But we get turned off from it because we don't even have a clue where to begin. We don't know where to initiate the actual action and the verbs that come with it. You could talk all the shit you want all day, but until you actually start getting your fingers dirty, you start getting involved with these things, you really don't know what it feels like to do these things. And a lot of people talk shit before they even try it. You know what I'm saying?
and see, and what I was telling them was, I said, Michaela kicked me off her live because I said, my initial statement to her was, well, what do you mean? How cleaning the house ain't hard? I clean up all the time, and it don't take me no time. What do you mean you do that all day? Unless somebody is making trash all day. But pretty much once you clean the house and the children are in school, it's a pretty much done deal. Well, no, you can't say that because you don't know what the woman, she could have been, had stretched her body out when she had the baby, and they went through all these other extremes, except for what I was actually getting at. That once the children, see, I even broke it down. I said, there's the infant stage with the children, there's the toddler stage, and then there's the stage where they're 7 and 8. So I said the infant stage, you ain't cleaning up and cooking for them all day. You give them a bottle and you confine the area that they're in, so they don't put nothing in their mouth or bump into something. Normally we put them in we gate their area off so they can crawl, or we put them in one of the baby beds. I said, so during that infant time, yeah, you ain't cooking and cleaning for the kids all day. You made some bottles that morning and you put them in the refrigerator. You were pretty much done with the dinner for the kids when they infants. Then when they become toddlers, they run around. They're a bit more active. Okay? But we don't have them as, not many people have them as toddlers a long time before they go to daycare. So, my argument was, once the children are no longer in the home, why is it taking you so long to clean up?
I could answer that a little bit. You're 100% right. It's different in the stages, but your senses also heighten because when they're in their terrible tools, if you're not paying attention, it only takes a second for them to fuck shit up. Now, when they're a baby and they're newborns, you might be sleeping when they're sleeping if you're smart, because you might be up at night feeding them every 3-4 hours, every 6 hours. So if you're smart, you're sleeping when they're sleeping. Otherwise, but then that causes a problem because if you're sleeping when they're sleeping, then you're trying to do things when they're up.
Yep.
So you could have all the time management skills. You could have all these things. That's great. If you're not into it, you're not into it. And it makes it that much harder to actually accomplish anything. Like, how do you love something that you never loved? How do you like it? Let's go back to the workout example that Kevin gave, right? We all know that working out is important. We all know that working out is life-saving, right? We all know the benefits of working out. But the same people that don't want to put the work into at least going to the gym 3 times a week, 2 times a week, or even do it in their house. Well, let's just say this. You go to the gym because it's a new place to go. You're outside your environment and you got people there that inspire you to actually work out. But if you're not into it, regardless of how good it is for you, life-saving and all, you're not going to do it. You're not going to enjoy it. You're going to find excuses not to do it. That includes parenting. That includes cleaning the house. I don't believe that ladies are watching TV all day. There's some ladies that could get their whole shit done in 45 minutes and got the rest of the day to chill. There's some other ladies that'll take them 4 hours to get shit done.
That's all I was trying to prove.
No, you're right. You're right, because I've done it myself. I got to a point where in 2 hours I was done with the house. It gave me time to smoke whatever I wanted to, drink whatever I wanted to. You know what I'm saying?
Didn't I say that last night? I said it literally took me about 2 hours to clean my whole house. That's what I say. I said the same fucking thing. I said about once the kids are in school, about 2 hours tops, everything done.
Yeah, but a lot of people put kids in daycare just for the sole purpose of having free time for themselves. It ain't really about, because you could send a kid to daycare doesn't mean that kid is learning something, doesn't mean that you got them in the right place where they're actually learning things that you're not teaching them. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people just don't want to parent. Most people that don't want to parent, actually, most people that do want to parent are people that don't take care of themselves, believe it or not.
You're right. You're right about that. No, you're right about that, because when I used to be a youth counselor and I would talk to the young pregnant teens, they would be pregnant and be like, I'm going to get this baby what I never had. They're like, you ain't even got a house right now. You ain't got a car right now. How you going to get it right? You ain't never had it.
Exactly. Young people having kids, and regardless if they come from a good place or not, good parenting, if they have kids young, they really didn't absorb the parenting part of it because they was developing the life skills. You understand what I'm saying? So I
Yeah,
believe
yeah,
I believe that all the parents are better because they have more patience, because they have had more challenges, because they've been more successful with life trials and tribulations. But when you're young and you become a parent, yeah, you're a good parent. You're attentive. You're doing a whole bunch of things. You just forgot about yourself.
mm. And I can see sisters losing themselves in raising children if they, because it does take. I know I was told by my wife that she was going through a post traumatic syndrome type thing. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
postpartum. Yep.
Yeah, that there was a something going. I didn't know until my second son. I said, "Oh, I didn't know that."
That's a
I
real
didn't know
thing.
that there was a depression part. That there was a am I still sexy part. I understand that your body is out of whack because you just pushed the life out of it. So there's gonna be a lot of discombobulation in the thought process when it comes to certain things. You really got to get She really needs a space to get her head back right. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
a real thing, my brother. That's a real
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. So after my first son, I just thought I said, well, we do it again. I'll make it even easier, for when you at home and you don't have to feel depressed and how many times you cried when we wasn't around, because just cause, I really heard her out on that and I accommodated that. But once I accommodated it, I was like, look. Now, when I had the first two, I get them on house clean in 2 hours. Okay, I'm not. Don't be waiting. I get off at 4:30. Don't be trying to clean up at 3:30, thinking you're gonna get it all done. Cause I'm gonna come home and catch you cleaning, and then you're gonna be trying to cook and clean, and you run around like a chicken with your head cut off. So get all that to manage that stuff. I guess, like I said, it still boiled down to time management. I believe a lot of them wouldn't be bitching so much if they manage their time at home right.
I believe that if
Okay,
they had
see,
time management, they wouldn't be at home.
Hey, I could dig that.
It takes a
I
lot,
could, I
man.
could dig that. Yeah, I could dig that because I could dig that. I do,
If
and
if
that's
you knew, listen, if you knew the real value of time, you would be utilizing your time to the best of your ability and learning how to do better with time. It ain't hard, but here's the thing. Raising kids is not a fucking joke. But you have to get to a level where you're good at it by practicing better ways to manage time. You see what I'm saying? Like people get into these routines. Routines does not necessarily mean that it's the most productive or the most efficient.
right.
It's a
It's just
it's
a
a
temporary. It's just a temporary like guide until you do get the productive and the productivity that you're looking for.
yeah, we're
So
not
you ain't
talking.
laying
Look,
idle.
we're not talking about grandma's cooking. We're not talking about old mom's cooking that it took all day to do. We're talking about microwave, air fryers. Everything is fast, convection ovens. Everything to this day is done in a faster mode. You could heat up the milk. You could do this.
Uh-huh.
There's so many things that you do faster now. Now, if you're not adapting to things that are going to make your time easier or faster, then you're doing yourself a disservice. You understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Yeah, you're right. You're
but I
right.
guess not everything is for everybody, and something to you that like go and is easy for you. Some people just can't handle it. They
You're right.
can't handle like
Hmm.
being responsible for little things and keeping a household and like I have a my house is like about 7,000 square foot. I'm gonna have to time. I can't. I ain't. I'm not gonna tell myself I'm gonna clean my home in a day because that would be overwhelmed. It's not realistic.
Hmm.
What I do is I do certain areas every day and I do it daily to keep up my house so I don't get overwhelmed.
I hear you. It's just not for everybody. Look, if your life is a hot mess, then you can't expect somebody to take care of somebody else's. If your life is a hot mess, you can't expect someone to take care of a house thoroughly. You just
Hmm.
can't.
Uh, I wanted to hop on here. I saw the background and it made me really want to jump on. I think a big part of my life is trying to practice forgiveness towards people in my past. A little background. So I'm a grown man now. I got kids and I got family. But when I was a kid, I was kind of abandoned by my mom at the age of 12. Was taken by children's services for missing over 100 days of school, and put with my father, who was a recovering crack cocaine addict. So
Wow.
going through recovery then. Um, my mom kind of disappeared on me. Since then, nobody knew what happened to her until when I was like 18. I found her just by chance in Las Vegas. So I was able to reach out to her and start talking to her. Took a long time because I didn't really have the feelings of anger that I ended up having towards her, because I just fully hadn't processed what she did and the situations that she put me in as a child. Because she was a pretty heavy drug addict at the time. And so I found her. She ended up moving out here 2 years ago. It's been a very, that's hard to say, complex relationship. My mom was homeless. She's a veteran. She was able to I was able to help her get into some programs that now she has permanent housing. But my desire to have a relationship with her is pretty limited. Um, certain aspects of her personality I find just toxic and not good for my kids to be around.
Are you my long lost brother?
I'm sorry?
Are you my brother?
Yeah,
He
sometimes we
says,
gotta learn the people
that
from a
sound like my
distance.
mama. Shit, it sound like my
Oh,
mama.
I
The
thought you were
hell?
I thought you were trying to mess with me for a minute. I'm like,
James, is
No,
that
no,
you,
no, no.
James? Is that you, James?
I thought you was trolling me for a minute. I'm like, oh.
Oh no, real talk, man. Hey, listen. I'm candid about that. My mom was a pill.
Yeah.
It still is. My mom is a pill, and as a grown up, it really ticked me off when she tried to justify her bullshit with some bullshit. I'll say, it's
Yeah.
very offensive that, I would think as a grown up, as a grown woman, I gave you all the credit in the world. Being a black woman in the 70s at that time couldn't have been hard, couldn't have been easy for nobody. But I'll tell you this much. I would not give my children a bullshit reason as to why I harmed them. I would just be honest enough to say, hey, I made some bad decisions and y'all suffer for it, and I apologize. I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
about to say because I was broke, because I was a black woman on my own. I wouldn't use none of them bullshit excuses or why I fucked your life over.
And that's the thing. There's level for her of not accepting responsibility still. And that's something that really infuriates me with that. Because like I had kids, man. I could never imagine a million years not being in their lives every day. Like the idea that's just abhorrent to me. Like just abandoning my kids. And so for that, like I have a hard time forgiving her on that stuff. And then when she was staying, she was like at my house every day, helping her get situated through the programs that we were enrolling her in, and she would be gaslighting me, like just forcing hugs and like doing all this kind of like forcing an affection, and it was the most cringe things for me. I'm like, I don't know you like that. Like I'm doing this because you're my mother, but like I don't owe you anything. And I felt like maybe I'm not being as empathetic as I should be, but at the same time, I'm trying to keep a healthy boundary because I don't want to get hurt by her again, you know?
There's a lot of resentment that you must have been carrying, because you're trying to protect your kids from the person that you came from. So that kind of
Yeah.
causes a lot of conflict there, and I feel you on that.
Yeah, man. Like, it fucked my sister. Sorry, excuse my language, but it messed my sister up more than anybody. My sister's 7 years older than me, and she had to go through the worst of it. And she has tons of psychological issues that she's battling through right now because of, and a lot of them have to do with her childhood. And my mom played a big role in that. I remember I was in the car. My mom got we got robbed in the car. I was in the car passenger seat. My mom was in her in some dude's house getting drugs. And the dude came past the car, went into the car while I'm in it, grabbed the stuff, and then she blamed me for not stopping him. I was 10.
Mm, mm, mm.
That's rough shit right
Yeah, it's
there.
like and you can, you can't understand why I keep my distance from you. Like, and I kept telling myself after she got situated, like, as soon as she gets situated, I'm gonna see her on the holidays, say, hey, good to see you, hope you're doing well, see you on your birthday, bye. Like, and I'm okay with that. Like, I understand. My wife was saying to me, like, well, you only have one mom, and so like you don't want to, like, when after she's gone, have, like, regret it. And that's what she made some good points. But at the same time, I'm like, she has nothing to offer me
But
emotionally, spiritually, or any way that they can help me be a better person.
and people always say that, and I tell her, well, mom need to understand that she's my only mom. Like, real talk. Yeah, I know I only got my one mom. Do mom know that I'm her son? Hello.
Yeah, exactly. I put that
You
turn
know,
180 and see how that is, right?
yeah, I don't, and in no way, shape, or form do I disrespect my mom. To honor her and to I keep my distance so it never gets to that level where
Mm-hmm.
I will end up having to disrespect my mom because she coming out of pocket because she feels as though she's my mom and she could do that because her being my mom. And I'm like you. I take care of her from a distance. I'm not gonna. I always told her, and I told my sister and my brother. I said, I know how y'all feel about her, but I cannot, in good conscience, let her suffer in her last days by herself.
Oh no.
If anything happens, she's more than welcome to come. Come with me and my wife, and I'll just have to be the one who deal with the punches until it's over. But
Yeah.
I'm not going. I'm not that cold. But what I refuse to deal with, and it's just not with her. It's with anybody. Somebody who's full of shit. I'm not about to deal with you flat out
I like
because it
genuine
becomes
people, man.
burdensome.
You gotta be genuine. You gotta be transparent, and especially in family relationships, you have to be, man. You have to be.
Okay, guess what? I'm gonna say something about this. I grew up in a very tough environment, right? I grew up in a situation inside my household where both my parents were very limited in their education and their experience, so they didn't have much to teach me. When you ask them a question, they brush you off. They don't answer the question they answer the question with a question or with a riddle because they're embarrassed to admit that they don't know it. Instead of coming with me together to learn this together, they shy away from it and they kill our creativity. The reason why I'm saying this is as follows.
Hmm.
I taught my daughter that regardless, nobody should disrespect you, not even me. So I try to show my daughter, listen, when my mother or my father is acting crazy or they acting a little bit difficult, I want to show you how to handle them. You don't
Hmm.
have to handle that. You are your own individual. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, my daughter, speak up in a respectful way. Speak up and tell me that I don't agree with you and I need to know why. You know what I'm saying? I will have this conversation with you, and whenever you ask me something that I don't know, let's look it up together. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
giving
Because
your
I
kid you're giving your kid a sense of agency, and that's beautiful.
absolutely because I was the type of kid that if I said, "Hey mom, why is this?" and I don't agree with it. Oh yeah, well until you pay rent in this house, you
Yeah,
understand what I'm saying? You ain't got shit to say. So I don't know
yeah.
how many of y'all grew up that way, but that's
That's
the way
it.
I grew up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Oh my God, my dad, like, if I didn't,
My
if I
mama still say that and I pay the
That's what I'm saying. I still get hit with sandals. I still get hit with fucking ninja sandals. You know what I'm saying? And
oh yeah,
she's
no,
80
no,
years
no,
old.
those sandals. My wife's Caribbean, man. My wife's from Haiti. So
Oh, so you
she'll get you good.
know.
She'll get me good. She'll get you good.
You gotta be like the Matrix in my house. Like that's why I became athletic because I was avoiding my parents' karate chops. You understand what I'm saying? Like for real.
No, my wife, she laid down the law in the house too with me. I like to think that I'm the man of the house, but sometimes, man, you don't want to piss off mom. Even the kids know. The kids know. You pissing off dad's one thing, but mom, no, don't
It's
do
a whole different ball game. So
it.
digital. I got a question for you based on the topic.
Yeah.
Based on holding grudges and forgiveness. Like, do you still hold resentment and grudges towards the situation?
Yes. Absolutely. I
I'm
keep
glad. I'm
thinking. I
glad you
keep
said that.
thinking. I would say that I would say it's like imagine like a rock, like a giant like a giant rock in the middle of the ocean, and slowly like waves are hitting it, and it's slowly eroding, and eventually it'll be nothing. But it's taking time, man. Each wave is like just the level of me chipping away at this thing. Like just imagine like a giant pile of manure that's arrived in your house, like at your doorstep. You got no choice but to pick up a shovel and start shoveling it out, man.
I don't
So
know
that
where you got that from, but that was one of the deepest analogies I've ever heard in my life. A rock in the middle of the water, bro. What the hell? You understand? But
yeah, but that's the thing.
I
Like you
will
got
tell you,
no choice just to keep going at it and keep slowly. It's not like one day I just forgive her and it's over. No, it just takes time. It takes
yeah, but
time, and then
I want you to understand this. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you, sir?
I am 34.
God bless you, bro. Here's one thing that I will share with you. And it might work with you, it might not.
Yeah.
But the reason why we forgive people is not to forgive them or give them a pass. It's to release us of the chains
Yes.
and of what we hold in ourselves. Because if we don't forgive them, we're not forgiving them for them. We forgive them for us to
Exactly.
release us from this fucking pressure and this chokehold. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, that's the
That
thing. Mr. Rogers defined forgiveness as releasing somebody from the bad feelings that you have about them.
correct. Because the
Yeah.
thing is, we hold that resentment so bad that it affects our parenting when we go to work.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, when we watch something and we're a little bit more heated, you know, we come in hot sometimes because of the experiences that we have. And we sit there and we say, well, why can't life be different? Why me? You know what I'm saying? The truth of the
Mhm.
matter is, they are responsible for what they did to us, but we are also responsible for moving forward from that for the benefit of our kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The thing
Well,
that trips me.
that's the healing part. That's where the healing part comes in. That because I told my mom, I said, the good thing about it is it didn't hurt me because I didn't pay it forward to my kids.
Hmm. To
I
break the
know
cycle.
I don't treat my children in no shape, form, or fashion the way
That's
I
a
was
great
treated.
point. That's an
So I
excellent
said
point.
I stopped. I don't do that. I said so I'm not hurt because if I was hurt, I'd be passing it on.
Hmm.
I didn't pass it on. I became a thinker. I realized that my children ain't the reason I'm broke. I realize my children ain't the reason I can't get a job. My children ain't the reason because one, they didn't ask to be here. I
Yeah.
could have done a myriad of things with that there and then leave it in their mama. I could have done a lot of things. But instead I chose to bring them in this damn world. And if I chose to bring them here, then with their mom, then I should honor that commitment and see it all the way to the end.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. Do you guys ever have issues where like your parent will do something that kind of brings a flashback to
Of
like the
course.
old them,
Of
and
course.
and that's the thing. Like I realized when I was a kid, my mom would be like really manipulative and be like making me think my dad was like a piece of garbage. And then she did the same thing while she was here. She made a mistake of talking smack about him, and I'm like, that guy's my saving grace. He's the reason I'm here today. So for I had to
That
tell him like
that's wild.
anytime you start talking negative about somebody in the family, I'm going to walk out of the room.
Well, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. There was a time not so long ago that I was upset with my mother because we had a conversation and she always moves the goalpost. You know, because parents will change the conversation when you're talking about something that they're uncomfortable with, right?
Oh yeah.
But it becomes obvious as you become older and more, you know, more intellectual with your things. So my daughter one time, I was talking about my mother, and my daughter came and she says, "I love grandma," right? I could have took that opportunity to say, well, be careful or blah, blah, blah. You know what I did right there? I said, you know what? And you should love your grandma. You understand what I'm saying? But I need you
Yeah.
to know your grandma and understand your grandma. So that's how I knew that I held, you know, like I already been healed because I could have took that opportunity to bash her. You feel me?
It's funny that the kids have to be the adults, you know?
Well, we were all kids at one time, and
But I
sometimes they
know, but I
do have
mean,
to pay
like
their roles. You understand? They do.
adults, like I think we all have adults in our family that just never matured, like
You're talking about
they've
my
never
parents.
kind of grown, to like being more less reactive people. I mean, that's the thing for me, where I realize that I don't need you around if you're gonna be like this negative force in my life. And so like I'll see you on the holidays, but I mean, and the kids love her because the kids only know her as this, but like she found out I have a special needs kid, and she she didn't even want to. Her visiting came by a lot less. Put it that way.
No, I totally get that. I got a rule that I live by, and it came from all the traumas with parenting and society and the household and the environment. My rule is real simple. If you make it too hard for me to love you, I don't take it as a challenge. I just won't.
Yeah, I get it. Right.
I ain't got no time for this because I know that I have love inside in my heart. I know that I want to do the right thing and I want to live a righteous life. But I can't if I'm surrounded by people who are just totally opposed to that type of lifestyle, which includes responsibility and accountability. You feel me? I can't deal with it. I just can't.
Yeah, no, like my mom said, like, you're too selfless with your kids. Like, you're not making any time for yourself. I'm like,
She's the
heck
last
no,
one to give
because
you
not
advice
compared
right
to
now.
you, not compared to you. Like, you're on a different level of the spectrum there, mom. And I'm like, I'll have my beer and maybe a little whiskey once in a while, but like that's it. As compared to you going off for and having the babysitter be the TV, you know.
See, that's the thing that we think. Here's the problem. She could be saying things that are actually beneficial. She could be actually saying things that she would do if she had another chance to do it differently or another time to fix it. But
Hmm.
we don't respect it because we know this person,
Yeah.
better than they think we do. We're always looking at the bad in them. So we can't take advice from people that never showed us that they got it together. You feel me?
Yeah, and my wife, my mom, sorry, my mom has the audacity to be like, "Oh, I abandoned you for 20 years. Like, why can't we just act like nothing ever happened?" I'm like,
Oh
huh?
wow. That
Like,
should hit me in
just
my
act like it
stomach.
never happened. I'm like, that's not how it works. She's like suspected me to be like the 12-year-old that she left, and I'm like,
That's
no.
crazy. Let me give you another perspective. Check this out. I have an older brother, right? He's not from the same mother. And my father didn't really show him the love that he deserved being the firstborn. Now,
Oh yeah.
this man always treated me beautifully. Still to this day, we have a great relationship. I don't respect my father for alienating certain kids. But here's the thing: when I talk to my older brother, he always tells me that he wish he would have known what it was to grow up with his father. And I said, I don't know if that's the case, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Because I grew up with him, and I don't think you're missing anything.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't take away the curiosity of him finding out on his own. You feel me?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, to different strokes for different folks, man. You know what I'm saying? Like parents these days don't understand how important it is to at least show your kid that that you're trying to be better. But when you have a parent that's real comfortable in their ways and they ain't changing, that's
Hmm.
going to affect you.
Yeah, and like everybody always said about my mom, she's like, I can't believe Shuri had kids because she never shown a maternal bone in her body. I'm like, yeah, well, that sums it up.
Well, some people have kids for different reasons, man. They just end up
uh,
having kids from situations that they were irresponsible in.
oh yeah,
Nobody,
no, I
listen,
get
nobody wants to admit that we are a little, what is it? Ill- illegitimate children. Nobody wants to feel like you wasn't born with a purpose. But I'll have news for you. 95% of the kids that are born today were not planned. Okay?
oh yeah, no, I get it. Neither my two were, but hey, it happened, and we roll with it.
It
But
just happens. You
that,
know what
they're the
I'm
bless,
saying?
they're the best blessing I ever had in my life, man. That's the thing. And after
You
being a
know,
dad, I'm like, the idea of leaving your kids behind, or even treating your kids in a negative way, just it gets me mad. It gets me agitated when I see like, uh, images on movies about like moms that like are terrible to their kids. Like I get emotional, man.
yeah, but you just got to understand the magic thing here. Kids did not ask to be here. We selfishly bring these kids into this earth without giving them a choice or option, and then we're gonna treat them like shit too. Come on, man. Yes, sir.
Sorry about that.
Think about it, man. Think about it. Beautiful
Yeah.
kids are, and you can learn from your kids if you actually listen to them. You can learn things about yourself if you pay attention to your kids. You can learn things about you. You got to deal with these triggers. You got to deal with this PTSD. You got to deal with these traumas. Some people need professional help. Some people need counseling. And some people need, conversations like this, man, so you know you're not alone, man.
Yeah, I tell you right now, I have not had a conversation about this with men, with other men, ever. So this is kind of a first for me. And I'm very grateful I've been able to. So I really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, if
Well,
anything I said can help you, you are not alone. And sometimes you got to go to outside sources to deal with your internal situation. You understand?
Yeah, that's beautiful. It's beautifully said, man.
and saying I tell people, you are healed when you are no longer reciprocating that same negativity to the
Mm,
next people.
he's
That's people
right.
that, how do you know when you heal? When you ain't doing the same shit?
When you're not passing that shit forward, you're right. You're 100%
Yeah.
right.
Yup. That's how you know. How you gonna move on in your relationship because you ain't passing it on what you took from the last relationship. You left it there. It wasn't, you did that person that's in your life now is not the reason for what happened.
Yeah.
And it would
No,
be
that's
unfair
beautifully
to
stated.
charge them with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wrote a letter. I wrote a letter to my moms and my pops, right? And I never gave it to them, and I don't plan to. But in the letter, it says, my mother always said that knowledge is power. And I wrote back, dear mom, you are incorrect because you didn't finish it. Knowledge is only power when you apply it. What's the point of having a lot of information if you're not going to put it to use?
Right.
So they don't what parents fail is that they don't complete the sentence. They don't finish the job. They leave us in suspense. They leave us in an area where we feel like what they gave us was enough, and we don't follow up on it. So you
We
got to
just
check
fill
your
in the
sources,
blanks.
regardless if they're your parents or not. You got to check your sources. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They often
Absolutely.
leave you to fill in the blanks. Like you say, instead of going all the way through with it, they kind of leave you, they give you what they think is enough to go on. Like people say, well, I'm going to give you something to go on. Well, I learned to stop giving them something to go on and give them something to live on.
Correct. But they, when they say your parents are giving you what their capabilities or their abilities are able to give you. But I say this, I'm like, but why haven't you extended on that? Why are you giving me limited information and not showing me how to finish that sentence, how to complete that thought? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And they don't do that for us. And we out here in the world with a chicken with no head, like, hold on, and then we get kids, and then our process gets stumped because now we got to put our efforts and emphasis into our kid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Absolutely. But the fact that we're already breaking the cycle by doing that. Really.
Yeah, we're not complete. Every time we do something new, we don't finish the other job. So now we get to a certain point. Now you're 32, now you're 35, now you're 40. You don't feel fulfilled. And you know why? Because you got a lot of unanswered questions. And a man, as a human being, man and woman, do not feel complete until they have clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's very true.
So
But
we
hey,
walk
guys,
around all day. What the hell is this? What the
have
hell
to
is
jump.
that?
I do have to jump. I gotta take care of these kids. But hey, thank you so much for your time, guys.
Thank you
I'm
for
definitely
sharing your
appreciate
story,
it.
man. That was beautiful, bro.
Yes, sir, brother.
That's time, man. He little time out here because he had to take care.
We with you. Life,
But
man. Life
social
is
media
hard, man.
really hurts. So I mean, time because people that like you remember how the women are on there that they can't get anything done. How long on live with y'all?
For a while.
Well, think about all the stuff they could have got done while on live.
Well, people don't know how to multitask because
That's what I
they
said. Time management. Like, you
yeah.
can while you're on live, you can like when I was on this live, I was doing the dishes and clean up the kitchen.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't done nothing. I haven't done nothing but sit here and enjoy this conversation. But I also know that I'm not gonna pressure myself so that when I come out this conversation, I'm like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. No, man, I'm gonna just keep it humble.
Today is the first day of the week, so this is that day where we pretty much leisure, we relax and stuff. But when I think of the course of the business days, and a lot of times I just try to bring attention to look at what we're doing. This is probably why a lot of our lives are turned upside down because maybe we doing it wrong, and then when we don't get the right outcome, we go to blaming each other and well we failing with each other instead of saying, well, maybe I failed myself,
Yeah,
and
that
that's
really
how I
stung.
failed and that's how I failed my partner by failing myself. That's like the scenario. I was talking to this guy, right, and this when I was a plant manager, and I used to try to get him a job. He ain't never want to get the job because he always found a woman he can go stay with.
Yeah, you will find
So,
what accommodates you.
right. So I told him, I said, listen, one time I seen him at the store, excuse me, before I was going to work. And he said, man, he pulled up in his nice car. I'm like, man, how you get that? You ain't got no job. That's how I'm from the old school. How you get that? You ain't got no job. And he was like, oh, no, man, I met this fine woman, man. I think this the one. I dropped her off at work, and, I'm going to get this coffee, go back home, go back to her crib, and I'm just going to chill and shit, see what the day bring me and all this stuff. And I'm like, so wait a minute. You got this woman car. You dropped her off at work, and the only thing you going to go do is go back home. I said, wow. I said, man, let me tell you something. How long you think that's going to last?
I was just about to ask you that.
I said, let me take it from a pro. Good dick only have a life expectancy of about a week. Once that shit start wearing off, she gonna drop you like a hot cake. I'm gonna tell you that now. As I told her, I said, she gonna drop you like a hot cake. I said, let me tell you how it's gonna work. I said, right now, she's enjoying you. Yeah, she's enjoying you. That's why she gave you the car. That's why she at work. I said, but what you don't know, her girls at work, dogging you. Girl, I wouldn't let that motherfucker drive my car. Oh, yeah, they making her feel it. So now when she come home, remember she used to call and ask you, did you want something to eat on the way home? Now she ate before she got home. Now she about to start throwing hints for you to get the hell out of it. If you're smart, you'll catch them and get the hell out early. I said, don't get to the point where that girl got to literally put you out her apartment. That's where it's, oh, no, it ain't like that. Trust me, man. She like me. I said, you don't understand. You ain't hearing me. You
Spoken
not
like a true
hearing me.
professional.
I said, you're not hearing me. I said, watch this. I said, by the end of this week, you gonna have problems this weekend with her. True enough, he had problems. She woke up. The dick wore off. I said,
Yeah,
it only got a life expectancy of about a week, man. The first 2 days, she happy she got you. She happy she got it. And I said, but in a minute, she gonna start thinking, well, what the fuck am I doing?
yeah.
I said,
She
but
would.
here's what you do though. When she give you her car, go get a job. Say, baby, while you was at work, I went and filled out 15 applications.
Yeah, but why? He already got the bag.
I know, but I said, don't handicap yourself. Don't allow that situation to handicap yourself. You handicapping your thinking. Here it is. You have an opportunity to get on your feet, but instead you prefer to lay on your back. As a man, that is sorry.
That's sad. And guess what? I've been there. I've been in that
Yeah, no, I
situation.
told them. I said, take it from a pro. I had to realize that this ain't cool. This shit ain't every other time. Every time you see me, I'm with a new girl at her shit.
Yeah, that comfortability level is something else, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
We
And you
get
got some women
comfortable.
who make it very easy for you to do it. They'll make it very easy
That
because they want the company, and some of them are not as assertive as they should be in situations like that because you'll fuck around and get in because you dicked her down and you might be the wrong person to be in her house.
Yeah, and you know what it is? You're not reading the situation right. She was happy with you in the beginning, but she was just happy to have something, to have somebody. She has
Yeah.
her own independentness. She just needs somebody to share it with. She thinks you're the one. You probably a pretty good looking person, decently dressed, keep your shit straight. You know what I'm saying? You're there for her, and you think you're doing her a favor by picking her up and dropping her off at work.
Right now, no, she doing what she
I never
doing low key.
had D that
She
good. Never ever. To move you in my house. Ain't got no job. Never.
You don't come
I'm
across as that
realistic.
type. Yeah, you don't come across that
I'm
type, brother.
realistic, and
and I think those guys
when
know
you
not
have
to try you.
children, yeah, when you have children, you have to tie the box. You can't come in my house away from my kids.
That
I'm
is
You
quite
don't have
sure
crazy.
if a
your
guy
own. I
rolled up
can't
on
bring
you,
you around kids.
That is hilarious.
and I'm quite
It,
sure a guy roll up on you, he gonna know instantly. Oh, let me go around this one. She look like
you,
she wants you to make the bed up.
let me give advice for some of the young men that are paying attention, bro. If you want to know that she's the one of the things that she needs to have is positive challenge. If she challenges you positively, she might be the one. That's one thing that you need to look at. And if she don't challenge you, if she keeps telling you that everything's okay, that you don't have to elevate, you don't have to evolve, you don't have to change, because in life,
Potential,
nothing.
Cam.
Yeah, exactly. You see what I'm saying?
Potential. He got potential, Cam.
You understand? So think about it, man. Like if you want to be with if you know that there's things about you that you need to change, the last thing you need to do is to get involved in a relationship unless that person is going to challenge you in a positive way as a friend.
Yeah, they're gonna push you because your potential.
That word
Things
is
do.
so
Well, we see
crazy.
what's in you. We know, like my ex husband was like when I met him, he made good. He comfortable in position because he had kids and it was just him. When I met him, I challenged him. I was like, you. I said you need to try to get higher up in the company. And by the time we got divorced, he was the director of underwriter. So I pushed him. I was like, no, you got to do the right. That income
That-
was okay when it was just you.
So let me ask you a question. How much of that was you caring about him, and how much of that was you yourself knowing that you can't be with a person that doesn't take it to the next level?
I cared about him, and I like he was earning his ways. Like I'm like, you can do so better than this. You are so intelligent. You should be higher up in the company. You've been with this amount of time. Like you selling yourself short. So I saw his potential,
But you have
but
you see his
he was
potential
okay
more
with
than he
everything.
did. Is it possible you
Yeah.
saw it more than he did? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, cause he was a single guy. He made money where he could go and travel if he wanted to, and he had a home. He was good, so he was okay.
That's crazy. I don't understand why so many people are looking for a free ride. The longer you take this free
And
ride,
I worked too. I had a career too, so have careers.
yeah, well, you wasn't gonna be around someone. If you're the type of person that you like to evolve and you like to grow and you like to expand your knowledge, you can't be with a person that's dormant. You just can't.
Yeah, that's the
Not.
word I used, dormant. He was just sitting dormant.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
shit'll bring you down. That'll bring you down. That will bring down your spirit. That'll even make you less motivated if you not careful.
yeah,
Definitely.
man. Yeah. Listen,
But
if
he
you
was willing to do it. Like once I I showed him like, oh, you're just like you're just. And then once he realized that, he started, being more aggressive in his career.
That's good though. You gave him that pep talk, and he adhered to it. Some people, you tell them 50. Here's the thing though. Here's the thing. If a person is okay the way that they are, and they're happy with themselves, who are we to try to make them somebody else?
Right, right.
Kevin said it earlier, right? If you don't want it, if you don't see the value in it, if you're not into it, you're not going to perform your optimal.
And see, what I like about what she did was she didn't tell him what he was doing wasn't good enough. She was able to look into what he was currently doing and see where there was progress available and where he currently was at. So it ain't like he had to leave it to go get it. She's saying where you at is good. Why not go higher there? Well, some women would have been, you just trying to be our leader. You need to go somewhere better and take him all out his square.
Yeah, well, we need to learn how to communicate. We need to learn all the factors of communication, which comes with volume, tone, the climate. You know what I'm saying? Like, and people are not responsible enough to know that you can't just get up out of nowhere and just be like, "You need to get your shit together." You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how it works, man. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Because if he wouldn't have been receptive, came at him like, oh my God, you're just sitting around and, just making my mind, and you ain't even trying. Just talk to him like, sweetie, you're just amazing. And I know you could do much. I was nice to him. And I made him figure it out. Like, I showed him his potential to tap, and he's like, you know what? You're right.
Yeah, but most people, when they
But I
speak,
never put him.
when most people speak, they coming in hot because they got something on their mind they need to express, and it comes out in the worst way. You know what I'm saying? Kevin, get up! Wake up, Kevin!
Well, it's nice, y'all, but I got some stuff I'm gonna plan on doing for today. Because y'all know it's my birthday. So I
Oh,
enjoyed this with y'all.
it's all good, brother. God bless you and happy birthday, dear.
And I did follow y'all.
Yes, I believe. Let me see if I'm following you. I'm following you already because no, I am following you now.
But
I am
remember,
following you now.
everything's butter.
Happy birthday, butter.
Thank you. Hurry.
Thank you, Kev. Right in time, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Was frozen.
Wipe the saliva. Wipe the saliva. Happy Sunday, everybody. It is a blessed day. If you don't have any life, get out, go outside, get some air, get some vitamin D from the sun, please. You know what I'm saying? Go take a walk.
Fresh air.
Get out and touch some grass. Get out and touch some grass.
Yeah, man. Not just the one you smoke either, man. Get some other grass. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. 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 Exactly.
Get some
And
fresh
if you're
air,
doing
man.
that too, make sure you're doing it in the right way.
That's
Cause they
right.
say too
That's
much of
right.
anything is too much is wrong.
That's you're talking
So
about
just make
balance
sure you're
now.
doing everything in moderation.
Hmm. That's correct, man. That's correct. And then
But that's one thing I wanted to come up and tell people, like, we gotta quit falling in love with potential because you can want something so much more for somebody else than they want for themselves, and instead of helping them, it sometimes can become a hindrance. So they
hmm
gotta show you something.
you become an enabler.
And I'm not just talking. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you know what's funny? And I want everybody to know this. I'm glad you came up and said this. I want everybody to know this. Everybody has potential. So potential is not good enough. Just the same way that I said that my mother said knowledge is power, it's only power and it doesn't become intellectual until you apply it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Shit. A piece of cardboard has potential.
Mm-hmm.
You could turn it into a box, right? You could turn it into a menu, you could turn it into a whole bunch of things. Everything has potential.
That's a fact.
So yes, potential is not good enough. Your mindset is what's more important than anything else. Where you going?
But see, the thing that people don't realize about potential, though, it can be deceiving if it's not used in the right way.
Yeah, and it could be used for manipulation too.
Yeah, because a lot of what happens a lot of times, especially in relationships. 'Cause I don't know if y'all talking about relationships, but in relationships, you can want something more for somebody else, and it actually causes them to settle, right? Because they like, I've got all the keys. I know all the cues. They've told me everything that they want, so all I got to do is act like that's what I want as well. And that's where a lot of dudes mess up, especially in relationships, because they be like, "Oh, she done gave me the keys to her heart, and all I got to do is say and do these certain things in order for things to progress." And where she be like, "You know what? Ooh, I can see something in him." He's already done settled, and now you
Absolutely.
wanting more for him.
Well, that comes
But
that
when it
comes down to making a change. Are you making a change for yourself, or are you making a change to accommodate somebody else's needs?
right or wants or right because sometimes it be wants. And like I said, so a lot of times, especially in relationships, people give the keys, not even realize that they're giving somebody ammunition to their heart. Because when you
Yes,
let somebody know what your desires are and everything else, they will put on a facade and present in a certain way for you, right? And but once it's time to actually put that stuff in action, oh, I was only doing that because that's what you said you liked. That's what you said you wanted. But they didn't really do it for your betterment. They did it because they knew it was a position to get them put in the right place. If that makes sense?
absolutely. And it also depends on the interest. Like if your interest is to sleep with someone, you might act like whatever you have to act like to get in them pants.
Right, right.
You do
That's
whatever
why I
it takes to
encourage a
get the
lot of
bag.
women to get the bag or the cookie. A lot of dudes go out for the cookie.
But the thing
They'll do
is,
anything for the cookie.
how many people adjust the way they act to get the cookie, and then they get the cookie and they like the cookie more than they thought they would. Now they got a relationship with the cookie.
Right.
You understand? What is it? If you ask a lot of people that are going out, hey, why you guys, how did you guys meet and why you guys are still together? They'll look at you with three heads.
Hmm.
A lot of people don't even like each other. They've been together for 8 years. They don't even like each other. They just do it out of convenience. They do it out of sharing the bills, occupying space. I'd rather have somebody than not. Misery needs company. This world is crazy.
Oh yeah. Hey, and a lot of times, like people, I really wish that people would stop losing themselves within relationships because a relationship is supposed to better both of you. Y'all are both supposed to be happy and come and share it. But a lot of people get in a relationship thinking that the relationship itself is going to make them happy when that's not what it's supposed to be.
I feel you on that. Are you talking about that you should retain your individualism in a relationship?
Right, right. Like really, really do things so that your significant other sees the real you, sees the things that you really like. Like don't be one of those ones to be like, oh, I like to travel, I love to travel, and you like to stay at home. You like just being if you don't want to go to the club scenes, you don't want to be all in the public light and all that stuff. You got some people that's what they thrive off of. You get what I'm saying? Oh, I'm gonna get dolled up this weekend. We're gonna go out. We're gonna do this, that, and the third. And a lot of guys at first, that's how they met you. They met you all dolled up and doing everything. But you might have somebody that's real chill, laid back, and don't really do all that.
I agree with you, man. When we meet people, and we hear them speak for just a little bit, we ready to say, hey, that's the type of person that I want to be with. I'm like, it doesn't, you can't know somebody from one or two conversations. You know what I'm saying? You got to put them in situations so that you can see what they really act like when the shit hit the fan, you know?
Oh yeah, they say you're really supposed to see people in all four seasons. Meaning when after a good year's time, it don't even figuratively have to be a year when they say in all four seasons. It's just seeing them in different atmospheres, seeing them in different moods. Don't just see them when they getting dolled up to go out. I need to know what you look like when you wake up. Like, what's your confidence level like as soon as you get up and wash your face, brush your teeth? Because you only see what people present. And a lot of times people don't even know the real person. You just seen their representative. You met their representative. Like, do you really know who that person really is?
It's so many factors that got to go into that, whether you're paying attention to the right things or they are demonstrating exactly who they are. That's why when I meet people for the first time, I ask them weird questions. You understand? Like I don't want to continue a conversation with someone that's going to be fake down the road. So I ask them questions that are uncomfortable for them to answer because that'll tell me exactly who you are, you know?
Right, right. He's supposed to.
But people don't do that. You already know when we go out, we try to dress nice, right? You know what I'm saying? We get our
Hmm.
hair did. You know what I'm saying? Like females think that guys don't do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like that guys don't go and dress up and put on their garbs and clean their car and shine their shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Or
incredible.
even they'll know they going out and they'll go borrow somebody else's car. You know what I'm saying? They'll
Oh
really
man.
like they present in a certain way. Like when they made that song about Scrubs,
Oh yeah.
sitting in the passenger side with your best friend's ride, trying to
Yeah.
holler at me. Sometimes people
Yeah.
got those friends that be like, "Hey, bro, you can use my car, man. You know this is what like they really be paying attention to this." Be like, "All right, cool, bro." But
It's
now when
just
you need to
it's
go
just
to the
funny, man.
store, now when you need to go to the store, he like, "Man, that wasn't even my car."
That's why I always say it's nice to see someone in their true element. You know, if you wear rollers and you wear oversized t-shirts and shorts and sandals all day, then just stay like that. You know what I'm saying? If that's the person that you're going to be, don't be your best to attract something that's gonna watch something else. The
That's a
preview
fact.
the preview does not you ever seen a preview of a movie where the preview tells you the entire movie and then there's some previews that has nothing to do with the movie?
Hmm.
There you go.
Or the previews that show you all the good stuff in the movie, but then you actually watch it and it's like, bro, they just really got me. Like they said this
Exactly.
movie was supposed to be good.
You know, a lame is a
Go
lame.
sit and watch it. The whole trailer was in the first 5 minutes, and that's the most action that was in the movie.
Yeah, there's lame men and there's lame women in this world. I want everybody to know that lame does just not belong to men. It is a human
Yeah.
aspect. You know?
And it's not gender specific. That's the
No,
one
not
thing
at
that
not at
that's the
all.
one
You
thing that's
know?
not gender specific.
And that's another thing too, man, that the battle between men and women, this needs to stop, man, because the people that are having this argument are people that have hatred towards the other gender. You know what I'm saying?
Or it may be hatred for themselves. Because I ran
That's
into a lot of that.
that's true. That's true. And this is why a lot of people want to change other people because they're having a hard time changing themselves. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? That is really weird, man, this world we live in.
Hey,
Man, we
for
live
real, you know what? You know what I found out?
what's
This is
good.
a question that they asked us when we was in school. They was like, "Hey, what do you want to be when you grow up?" I've never, ever, ever heard somebody say, "I want to be myself."
That's
Because the
funny.
world paints out that you can go and do and be anything that you want to be, right? But I've never, ever heard people push the notion that it's okay to just be you.
Because the truth is that we live in a world where it's not okay to be. It's just
They make
not.
it seem that way.
It's just not. Think about the different people you have to be throughout the day. You go to work, you're one person, right? You come home, you're another person, right? You're in the street, you're another person, right? You're in the market, you're another person, right? Very rare to find someone that acts the same way every day in every single situation. And it sucks because we lose ourselves. You're 100% right. I know that I wanted to be a responsible adult. You know, when they say, what you want to be when you grow up? I say, I want to be a grown up. I want to be a responsible adult. People underestimate how great and how free it feels to be a responsible adult because we so used to adults complaining about everything. We so used to about people complaining about the bills, about this, about that. Who wants to be an adult?
Right.
Stop complaining in front of your damn kids, Bill. You raising complainers. I wish there was a
And
way
that,
where I could just press the button, man, and just have everybody pay attention for just 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't work that way.
yeah. I encourage people that like paying attention is free. You gotta pay, but all it is your attention. But
Mm.
it's free. It costs you
But
nothing to be aware.
It does. But you know what? Awareness is just not complete. You could be aware of it, you could know about it. What you're gonna do with it?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? We sit here,
Kev, what you
say
got going on over there, man?
he's half asleep.
He over there fading in and out.
Nothing at
I,
all.
I caught it late.
yeah, he's been up all night.
Yeah, I had the in-laws in town, so I ain't been on TikTok too much. So I seen you up here. I said, let me go ahead and jump
Oh
up
yeah.
here.
Yeah, I saw the topic, and I just wanted to say something about grudges, man, and forgiveness. Grudges. I had grudges for many years. I had many grudges. What it does is that it pushes you to finger point. It pushes you to be the victim. It pushes you to not be accountable or responsible for your actions, and that's a graduating process right there. And it keeps you in the confines of your own hostage situation. You're holding yourself hostage by holding grudges. And when you forgive people, you're not giving them a pass. You're releasing yourself from the grips that you have on yourself for either being the fool or for allowing someone to take you to a place where you don't need to be longer than you need to be. Life is already fucking. Life is already as difficult as it is. You understand? Why we make our lives harder than what they need to be? Because that's another thing too. Before you go and diagnose yourself as being depressed, look at your surroundings. Make sure you're not hanging out with a bunch of assholes.
Mm.
Excuse the French. Yep, and that's what it is, man. I'm gonna thank you, Panda, for coming up here. I can tell that you are educated, you have an intellect and understanding on some life skills, and I love that. Kevin is another person that's just learning and loves to have these debates because it helps him condition himself to prepare himself for the future that he's looking for. So, blessings to both of you, gentlemen. Thanks for having me. Happy Sunday. God is good. Do the right thing and be a better person tomorrow than you was today.
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
I appreciate that, OG. And
All
the way
day.
you spit your wisdom, you get OG from me.
No,
You know what
I
I'm
Mm-hmm.
see
saying?
it. I see that you've been through it because you could only a person that's been through it knows when another person has been through it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's the
So
fact.
I
That's
give
what
I
we can
give I
learn
give
to
you
not
kudos.
discredit. That's when we can learn to stop discrediting people for their experiences, because
So
everybody, some people have been where you are, and some people are going where you've already been. And this is why it's important for us to get out here and tell our stories and engage with each other, because at the end of the day, we are supposed to be here to learn from each other. I'm not here to judge you, but I'm supposed to be here to pay attention. Like I said, awareness is paramount in today's climate. And I can't sit and tell somebody that you're wrong, right or wrong for the way that you choose to live your life. I can only say what's right or wrong for me. And the way
I
that you bring your perspective, I can respect it.
I appreciate that. All I'm trying to do is give people options because people are very one-dimensional and very alienated, indoctrinated to a point where they don't believe that there is anything else they can do except what they are already doing. And that's not true. We need
Mm-hmm.
options. Nobody wants to be obligated or forced to do anything. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna tap down. I will pray for y'all because in a positive way. Thank you for having, and I'll tap in with y'all probably tonight.
All right.
That's a bet, man. Appreciate you.
I want
Kev
to
act like
say
he
good
want to go
night,
to
but it's
sleep. I
really
think I
good
might
morning.
let Kev go to sleep.
Give me a couple hours then, real quick, so I can.
Yeah, yeah. Well, shoot, man. I'm about to go ahead and do some things my dang on self. I just want to jump up. I said, Kev, sleep. Had me down there in the request. It was like everybody was like, probably.
Probably right. Probably was. I was did that lean over move. It was over.
But yeah, man, I'll probably get with you a little bit later on. I might be on a good bit today, so
All right, for sure.
I'll get with you,
You
bruh.
need coffee, right? I do, Rose. All right, for
But
sure,
we'll get up,
man.
bro. Appreciate
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Thanks for stopping through,
you.
man.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Still on? Yeah, I'm about to get off now, Ross. Give me a couple hours. Oh man. Whoosh. Mm-hmm. For sure, man. Stop. Thanks for stopping through and stuff, and I catch you. I probably ain't gonna be on until like Wednesday or something like that. So thanks for stopping through. I might be in some other people's lives and stuff, but I probably ain't gonna be hosting. So I catch you.